Okay.
Mickey!
What have you been doing?
Uh-oh.
Why, the professor's been entertaining me.
Darling, my little scanty panty, your skirt.
Welcome to another edition of GRES, G-R-E-S. We find ourselves here in section 25. I'm not too far away actually from the grave of Babe Ruth, literally in the same section, and Billy Martin, Gate of Heaven Cemetery. Speaking of a actress, folk figure, and I think every one of our generations has this type of a scenario, and I'll explain the story to you guys. So she was a performer in Peggy Hopkins Joyce, also known as Peggy Joyce Mayer. So she was a performer on both stage and film, probably best remembered for her knack of marrying and divorcing rich men. Born Marguerite Upton, she was raised under poor circumstances, right? In Southwest Virginia, moved to New York at 16 to join the Ziegfeld Follies. Divorced twice by age 20, her stage name evolved gradually, Hopkins and Joyce being the second and third of her 6 husbands. Peggy made her silver screen beau with the 1916 The Turmoil, and was to appear in a few Hollywood movies, the best known being The Skyrocket in 1926. And also International House in 1933. So she was a regular kind of I guess you would say, like, always in the gossip columns, regular fodder for the gossip columnists. She never refused an interview request, usually meeting reporters while being scandally attired, right? Always trying to make a name. Any press is good press, right? So she'd show up in interviews scandally dressed, and back then in 1923, she caused a scandal by dancing nude in Earl Carroll's Vanities. So she had a talent for getting and spending money. She once owned the Portuguese diamond, which is now in the Smithsonian. At the height of her notoriety, she was found in song lyrics: Rodgers and Hart's "I've Got $5," Cole Porter's "Why Shouldn't I?" and "Couldn't Compare to You." But as she became older, she started gaining weight. She became an alcoholic. That ridden in her 40s, she became a common, unfortunately, joke, butt of all jokes, in the nightclub circuit there. She took herself out of public view, entered her final marriage at age 60, and unfortunately died of throat cancer. She is said to be the inspiration for Laura Lee in Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. She published an autobiography in which it is difficult to tell fact from fiction, always keeping the reporters and the public guessing. So her story was being, people saying her story is much more reliably told in a 2000 book called Gold Digger, The Outrageous Life of Peggy Hopkins Joyce. And of her philosophy, she simply said, better be mercenary than miserable. Died in 1957 at the age of 62. Peggy Hopkins Joyce, otherwise known as Peggy Joyce Mayer. She is buried next to someone here as well, though I can't make out. She is buried to someone who I believe would be her husband, Andrew Mayer. And this is her. I'll find a resting spot right here. You can see it. Rest in peace. I've got $5 by Richard Rogers. In there, Peggy Joyce has a business. All her husbands have gold. In Cole Parker's Why Shouldn't I? Referring to love, the princess sings Miss Peggy Joyce, says it's good, and every star out in far Hollywood seems to give it a try. So why shouldn't I? Cole Porter's witch asks, should I make one man my choice and regard divorce as a treason? Or should I, Peggy Joyce, have a new one every season? As you could see, Peggy Joyce, quite just a few examples of references all over the map.